Every once in a while, a young athlete comes along who just feels different, like Max Verstappen winning a Grand Prix at 18, or Coco Gauff reaching a slam final before she could legally rent a car, or Luka Doncic making NBA veterans look average as a teenager. You can spot them early, the prodigies, the ones with not just talent, but purpose. What sets them apart isn't just skill, it's obsession, support, timing, and an almost eerie composure under pressure. But that pressure comes at a cost. Expectations, media attention, sponsors, and the weight of a world watching someone still figuring out who they are. Some burn out, some fade, but the rare ones, they rise. They become legends. And Formula One might be witnessing its next one in Kimi Antonelli. Since 2022, people haven't just been excited about Antonelli, they've been raving about him. And for good reason. That year, he won everything, and in 2023, he kept winning, dominating the junior categories like it was child's play. When he finally stepped into a Formula One car for the first time, filling in for George Russell during FP1 at Monza, you could feel the weight of that moment. Journalists, cameras, fans, all packed in to witness the official unveiling of Mercedes' latest prodigy. And from the second he left the pit lane, you could tell this kid wasn't here to ease in. He attacked the track, maximising every corner entry and exit, braking late, using every inch of asphalt. His inputs were sharp, precise, confident. The hype was suddenly very real, and the comparisons started flooding in. People whispering names like Hamilton, Schumacher, Vettel. No pressure, right? For a teenager, that's insane. To carry that level of expectation into your first outing? It's almost unthinkable. But Antonelli wanted to impress. Not just because Monza was his home race, but because that Mercedes seat wasn't officially his yet. He knew every lap mattered. Unfortunately, he pushed a little too far. The result? A massive 52G crash.
You can hear the screech of the tyres and there's not much runoff.
You okay? Are you okay?
Yeah. Sorry.
Kimi, all good. All good, Kimi.
Just ran out of rear grip, but
Not the debut you dream about. But thankfully, he walked away unharmed. And for Mercedes, it wasn't a deal breaker, it was actually a reassurance. As they put it, we'd rather have a driver we need to slow down than one we have to speed up. They'd seen the raw potential, they'd invested in it. And this team, this finely tuned, championship-winning machine, was built to nurture that talent. Look at George Russell. Mercedes took years developing him before placing him next to Lewis Hamilton. With Kimi, the timing just worked out differently. Hamilton left and the door opened. A generational talent arrived just as a generational driver stepped away. So while the Monza crash was far from ideal, it wasn't a sign of failure. It was just the first bump in a long learning curve.
Yeah, I saw you and Max talking after the incident. Did you just misjudge the breaking point at that turn?
I didn't necessarily brake too late, but it's just when I braked, obviously I brake hard because I was behind other cars, and in that moment I locked the rears, and then I just couldn't stop the car because I locked the rear and then lost the car, and then I had to avoid Lawson. But then it was too late because I was arriving just too quick, because then I started to lock the front, and instead of decelerating I was accelerating, so the car was taking speed, and then the crash was inevitable.
The next major test came in Australia, and for rookies, it was about as brutal a debut weekend as you can imagine.
Italian rookie on debut. Oh my word!
Hot and humid on Friday, hotter on Saturday, and then on Sunday, cold, wet chaos. In qualifying, things didn't go to plan. Kimi pushed too hard over the curbs, picked up floor damage, and was knocked out in Q1. It hurt him everywhere, on the straights, in the corners, you name it. But race day? That's where things got interesting. Starting from P16, points seemed unlikely. But Kimi put together one of the most impressive rookie debuts in recent memory. He kept it clean, stayed composed in unpredictable conditions. Lap by lap, he built confidence. He made smart overtakes, including one gutsy move around the outside of Albon at turn 9, and even survived a mid-race spin without losing momentum. By the end of it, he'd climbed to P8. Toto Wolff played it cool, saying this was exactly the level of performance they expected, especially in the wet. But the key stat? Kimi was the only rookie all weekend who didn't crash. Even experienced guys like Sainz and Alonso got caught out. Kimi didn't. Next up, China. He qualified P8, looking far more settled in the car. But in the race, an unfortunate run-in with a piece of front wing end plate damaged his floor. He lost time, couldn't really recover, and had to settle for a quiet finish. Still, it was another learning experience, especially at a track he'd never raced before. Then came Japan. Cooler temps, conservative tyre compounds, and very little tyre degradation meant strategy wasn't a huge factor. But Kimi still gave fans something to cheer about. He extended his first stint all the way to lap 31 and was pulling away from Lewis Hamilton while doing it, on mediums. Then, history was made. Kimi Antonelli became the youngest driver ever to lead a Formula One race. And later, he set the fastest lap of the race, breaking another all-time record. He went from exiting the pits 9 seconds behind Russell to finishing just 1.3 seconds back. Sure, George wasn't pushing flat out, but it was still a statement. That momentum carried into Bahrain. P4 in qualifying, just 0.2 off Russell. The race didn't go to plan. He lost places at the start, got undercut, then pushed too hard on a set of softs. Mercedes made some questionable strategy calls, including boxing under safety car conditions when he had clean air. Still, his overtaking was sublime, especially moves on Verstappen and Sainz. Jeddah was trickier. Mercedes struggled with pace, and Kimi made a small mistake in Q3 that left him several tenths behind George. But then came Miami. Kimi shocked the paddock by putting it on pole for the sprint, at a brand new circuit. He became the youngest pole sitter in F1 history. That was the moment fans had been waiting for, raw talent meeting execution. The race didn't go his way. He fell back after running out of room in turn 1, and then got caught in pit lane chaos thanks to an unsafe Red Bull release. He finished 10th when he should have been fighting for a podium. Still, later that day, he qualified just 0.07 seconds off Grand Prix pole, once again ahead of his teammate. In the race, he briefly ran P2 but couldn't make the tyres work and dropped to P6. Still, the pace was real, the progress undeniable. But then came the hard part, adversity. His home race in Imola was emotional. Letters from Hamilton, friends and family trackside, massive fan pressure. He admitted it threw him off. He wasn't sharp, he underperformed. Then the car broke down. Monaco followed. He crashed in qualifying. Mercedes tried to salvage things, but the strategy didn't matter much after Saturday. Spain? Engine failure. 3 rough weekends in a row, and then Canada. Kimi Antonelli finally stood on the Formula One podium. He passed Piastri at the start and managed his tyres like a seasoned veteran. He kept Max honest, applied pressure, and had the pace to challenge. When the crowd chanted his name in Parc Fermé, you could feel the moment. He didn't win the race, but he won something just as important: belief. That first podium? It's the hardest one. Now that it's out of the way, the next target is clear: a Grand Prix victory. And if Canada was any indication, he's not far off. What excites me most is what's coming next. The European leg, tracks he actually knows, circuits that suit his style. This is where we might see Kimi Antonelli fully unlock. His tyre management is already elite. He's up against one of the best in Russell. And he's not just surviving, he's competing. And the best part? He's still humble, still measured, He sees the long game. A lot of rookies burst onto the scene and fizzle out. But with Mercedes behind him, a team that doesn't chew up and spit out young drivers, Kimi has time, resources, patience. He has everything he needs to become the driver everyone thinks he can be. The speed is there, the mindset is there, the team is there. Now it's just about refining the package. And if Mercedes nails the 2026 regulation changes the way they did in 2014, Kimi Antonelli could be driving a title-contending car just in time to break more records. Maybe even become the youngest world champion in F1 history. Of course, there's still a long road ahead. But if this is how the journey starts, then the best chapters of his story are still to come. Let me know what you think about Kimi's rookie season so far down in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, be sure to like, share and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.